Hey, what's going on, you guys? Kristi Anderson here, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about one of my favorite fish to catch in the Atlantic Ocean, and that's the Spanish mackerel. They're a coastal pelagic fin fish that run up and down the beaches, the piers of the Atlantic, and you guys can find them all over the Atlantic Ocean, especially here in my backyard in Virginia Beach and the mid-Atlantic. Right now we are in the middle to the end of May, and typically it is late spring through late summer and early autumn that we're gonna see a ton of these Spanish mackerels right here in the Atlantic Ocean into our bays. And then around that time of fall time, they're gonna start heading down to the Gulf Coast and spend their winters in Florida. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys the very first lure that I ever caught a Spanish mackerel on, and it's probably one of the most versatile, easy lures out there for Spanish. Again, anything that is fast moving and shiny, these fish are going to chase after. So lures such as a gotcha plug. So first off, right now I've got a Phantom made by Favorite. If you guys just have a medium 7-foot rod, that's perfect. That's exactly what you guys want. If you guys have trout rods, bass rods, really any of your inshore rods is gonna be great. Reel right here, if you guys have a 2500, that's great too. This is just by Florida Fishing, the CE. So it's just kind of my classic setup with these gotchas. So right here is a gotcha plug, if you guys have never seen one. They're really cool. You just gotta make sure you guys don't hook yourself. It's got 2 treble hooks on it, so double the action that you guys might be able to get on these things. And they're super easy to work. You guys I'm gonna show you guys how to work these. So say you guys are fishing again from the beach, from a pier, from a boat, you guys are really gonna work it the same way. So as you guys are getting ready, you guys might see a big old school of Spanish. You can also probably catch a ton of bluefish on these. Again, bluefish and Spanish mackerel are gonna be chasing after a lot of the same baits. So it's gonna be kind of fun because you're not really gonna know what you're gonna catch. And really, you're just retrieving it as fast as you can. Pretty much you want that lure to be ripping through the water, and it's almost like the more erratic and the faster you can kind of reel in that lure, the better, and it's really cool. Again, these fish form these immense fast moving schools, and they're really fast. A shark. Woo! Oh, I got one. Here we go. Yeah. So, yeah. It's pull and drag.
Oh my God, it's a big one.
Is it? Woo!
Dang! All right, keep it on.
Holy so cool! So they can keep up with your lures, so don't feel like you guys are reeling too quick. You're definitely not. And when you guys are working these baits, kind of the crazier the better. So if you guys want, you guys can give it a lot of motion and a lot of pops. I'm gonna tighten my drag a little bit. And you guys are gonna work it just like that. So a few different ways that you guys can kind of vary up your cadence. So this lure usually comes in a pack of 3. They usually have 2 silver and then 1 in the middle is a gold. Definitely resemble any small bait fish, glass minnow, sardines, anchovies, any of their food. This is gonna kind of resemble what Spanish mackerel are gonna be feeding on. So when you guys are chasing after these Spanish mackerel, they can be anywhere from the beach, they're kind of running up and down the piers. You guys can catch them all the way out to your pelagic water. All right, so now one thing to really remember about these Spanish mackerel, they really love clean and clear water. So if you guys are having an outgoing tide, say right here, we've got an inlet, and you guys see a lot of kind of murky water. These fish are not gonna be in that murky water. So if there's a tide line, look for the cleaner, clearer water. That's probably where they're gonna, if you are fishing a pier and targeting Spanish mackerel, I would probably start at the end of the pier. But honestly, Spanish mackerel can really be all over, but typically at the end of a pier you might have a little bit more cleaner, water, so it's really kind of a good time and a good place to start fishing at the end. So if you're looking to target Spanish mackerel either from the surf or from a pier, again, just kind of be thinking about looking for big schools of bait, and also where the clean water is. So typically, or a lot of times, a lot of the clean water is going to be a little bit deeper, so I might start at the end of a pier. But that's not to say that Spanish mackerel aren't going to be running up and down the pier, because they do run up and down the beaches, kind of in the sloughs, just like, you know, trout and other fish that you guys are catching right in the surf. So a lot of times I might go in the early morning or in the evening, especially when it's going to be calm out. Again, these fish like cleaner water, and when it's calm, you might be able to see a lot of the schools of bait, which then you can kind of cast to and hopefully get on a big old Spanish. Those Spanish love fast moving bait. They like the chase. So a lot of times right in the surf is going to be prime time for casting to those Spanish. But if you guys are looking for like optimal time, usually an incoming tide will really provide you with some really clear, clean water. But Jeff and I have really caught Spanish mackerel on both tides and at the end of a pier and all over piers. So really just hopefully those are some kind of key things for you guys to look out for if you guys are fishing on a pier, maybe starting at the end, getting some of that cleaner water, but really kind of just targeting all over. You guys can hopefully get on some Spanish. So some other lures, if you are looking to cast the Spanish mackerel, whether from the beach, from your boat, from a pier, these are really kind of versatile. You guys can do cast it out, you guys can rip it through the water column, you guys can cast out, you guys can do kind of a yo-yo motion, which you're reeling down, lifting up your rod tip, reeling down, lifting up your rod tip. As long as it's fast and it's erratic and it has a lot of motion to it and some shine, these are really awesome lures because it's really gonna grab their attention. So here's just a few of my favorite. This is a Striker Casting Jig. It's just a 3/4 ounce right here. You guys can do a yo-yo motion. You guys can rip this through the water column. All right, so along with the Striker Casting Jig, some other favorites is a Sting Silver right here. This guy, little guy, rips atop the surface and is perfect kind of resemblance of a glass minnow. Also, Hopkins makes a little spoon. It's a little gold spoon. Same thing, really quick, ripping it through the water, yo-yo motion. All right, so another way, if you guys are looking to troll, this is going to be kind of your classic trolling setup. This is a more stout rod. This is the Penn Squall. This is a conventional reel. And you guys are gonna be trolling about 5 to 7 knots. You guys are catching bluefish though, you're probably going too slow. So you guys might wanna bump it up to 7 knots a little bit faster. Stop catching those bluefish and get on some Spanish mackerel. So the reason that we use a more durable stout rod is because if you guys were using your 7-foot, your medium, you know, rods over here, basically this planer, so if you guys have ever heard of a planer is really what's gonna get your Clark spoon, that's our lure, it's what's gonna get that down nice and deep. We're typically, when you guys are fishing between 15, 20, 25 feet. So these planers right here is what helps get your lure down nice and deep. That's why I have more of a stout rod to really kind of handle, you know, the planers being on there. A lot of times where we're fishing. So these are kind of gonna be your 2 go-to planers. And then you're gonna also need your lure, which is what you're gonna catch your Spanish mackerel on. It has your hook on it, and this is just a Clark spoon right here. Famous Clark spoon, and it's got a built-in swivel, which kind of eliminates the line twist. All right, so here's the Striker planer. This is just a number 1. Again, number 1 or 2 is great. And then has a snap swivel, and then your 2-way barrel swivel right there. And then I've just got about 15 to 20 feet of my leader line. And then at the very end of my leader line is gonna be my Clark spoon. If you guys are wondering how much leader line to do, super easy, simple way. I usually measure it out 3 arm lengths. That's perfect. That gets the job done every time. Again, just count 3 of these for your leader line and you'll be good to go. So we would normally be doing this when the boat was in gear and moving about 5 to 7 knots. So you guys wanna put your Clark spoon, your lure in the water, and then you guys want to put this circle right here at the top. Make sure it's not here because then that means that the fish has hit your lure, and essentially it just means that it's gonna trip the line and it's gonna bring your lure to the surface. So what this does, the planer pushes it all the way down and then keeps your bait down nice and deep. So number 1's gonna get it to about 12 to 15 feet in depth. So again, you just wanna put your circle up, and then you guys are gonna lower that and drop it into the water. Our Clark spoon attached to a 20-pound mono right here. Just wanna make sure there's no knots in your line. Got number 1 planer up there. We're gonna throw that out. And, all right. We're gonna let it out like 4 to 5 seconds. Get it pretty far back there. That way the planer can get down to like 15 feet. All right. And if it doesn't trip, all you do is you bring it forward and back, and it trips it. Put it in your rod holder. Anyway. Oh yeah. Fish on. All right, this guy's definitely a keeper. Check them out. Alright y'all, well thanks so much for watching. If you guys are in Texas, down in the Gulf or the Mid-Atlantic or even up north, hopefully you guys have had the experience of getting on some Spanish mackerel. They are such a fun fighting, action-packed fish. Again, they are in the kingfish family and they really do pack quite a bite in such a little package. So super fun. One of our favorite fish to catch, and we've already been getting on them. Hopefully this summer will be just a blast getting on them with some trolling lures and just casting from the pier and from the surf. Hopefully y'all are gonna get out there on some Spanish mackerel this summer. Again, thanks so much for watching, and get out there and go catch yourself a big old fish. Peace out, y'all.